Talking about the deliberate self-harm is basically the intentional causing of the injuries to one's own body. So this is the behavior that we're discussing over here. You have a patient at your hand and you have the history of a deliberate self-harm or a self-mutilating behavior in that particular patient. How are you going to assess the severity of a disease? It's again very important to assess the severity because the final management of that particular patient depends upon this initial assessment that you take as a clinician or as a psychiatrist. So again, the documentation is very important. The doctor-patient repo is very important because that is how you will get on to the thought content and the thought form of that particular individual, and the severity of the disease can be calculated through this initial assessment that you take. So again, we are discussing over here the self-harm assessment. You have a patient of who has the history of deliberate self-harm, who has the history of self-mutilating behavior. For example, he has lacerations or bruises or even the extreme kind of a tattooing phenomena seen. Now you want to assess that patient, what kind of a thought content he has. So again, the assessment would lie upon a lot of factors. The factors to consider over here in such a case, they're very important. The assessment of the risk factors that we've already discussed according to the suicidal or the parasuicidal behavior. We're going to have that in our mind and basically deal with them accordingly, whether he's suffering from a depressive episode or whether he's suffering from a personality disorder or a dissociative disorder, having any delusions or paranoias is again very important to interview or to document in your history. The general aim of this assessment, basically, as I've already emphasized on the fact that the management plan lies upon this initial assessment, this initial self-harm assessment that you would take. The history taking is very important over here, and that we'll be doing in detail while we are having a psychiatric patient at our hand who is suffering from a deliberate self-harm history. The factors to consider over here are the medical fitness. So is he suffering from any kind of a terminal illness? Is he suffering from any kind of a physical, psychiatric illness is again very important over here. The circumstances of the deliberate self-harm, had he been through any stressful conditions in his life, child abuse, sexual abuse, or any history of relationship problems, or any personality disorder on its own is again going to get the person more prone to this kind of deliberate self-harm behavior. So the current suicidal ideation is again very important, and you're going to get your hands onto the thought form and the thought content of that person. That will reveal the suicidal ideation, the presence of the mental illness, the personality on a whole will be assessed, having any personality disorder, having any mood disorders, bipolar affective disorders, depressive disorders, schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorders would make the person more prone to this kind of a suicidal behavior or the parasuicidal attempted behavior. The options for the immediate and the future treatment will be revealed to the person if he has insight to his problems. So it's again very important to get to the fact whether he has the insight to his problem or not. If he has that insight, then the immediate and the future treatment should be discussed with the patient as well. So again, the assessment of the risk factors is very important. The typical questions to be asked from the patient are, have you ever felt that life is not worth living? So all of these questions are going to reveal the pessimistic thoughts if the person is having them or not. How long do these feelings last? Whether he has that depressive episode or it's a depressive episode of a pathological kind of a longer duration. Do they come and go, or they are there all the time? Can you manage the feelings? If he wants help and he knows, he has the insight to that, that he cannot manage his depressive feelings, it's very good, and you can basically discuss with the patient the further treatment and the further treatment options or modalities with the patient as well. Have you thought about them? Have you made plans about the suicidal attempt or any deliberate self-harm attempt or not? How close have you come to acting on your thoughts is again one of the important questions that would reveal the urgency of taking the action about the treatments. What stopped you doing anything? That would basically reveal the ideas, the ideations of the person himself. Have you tried anything before? How can I trust you that you can keep yourself safe? Do you feel safe? All of these questions questions are going to reveal the pessimistic thoughts, or if he's suffering from any delusions of paranoia or any other delusions, any delusions of persecution, they're going to be revealed over here. If the feeling of the self-harm are pervasive, there's an urge to act on them and plans have been made, and there's a high risk of a suicidal attempt or even a successful suicide. So the management basically lies upon making sure that the patient is stable. The assessment of the deliberate self-harm is again very important. The nature of injuries are assessed, whether they are the lacerations that have led to any arterial damage or not, and then they're best left for the period of time. So you have to basically keep the patient hospitalized and you have to assess them from time to time. Do not let the patient get discharged from the hospitals. The clear assessment of the mental risk or the mini mental state examination is very important over here. The ongoing risk factors are considered over here, and then we have also to discuss the effects of the drugs or the alcohol VOROFIC effects over here. The unduly emotional settlements will also be discussed along with this management lines. The mental health acts to be considered over here. So you cannot basically start off with the treatment modalities just right on. Sometimes the psychiatrists think they have the right to start off with any treatment modality. There are a lot of mental health legislations in the UK and worldwide. So it depends upon the country that you're practicing, and you should know the mental health legislations just to start off with the treatment modalities. So the assessment of the DSH patients is again very important over here. It basically consists of these three factors. That is, it can be a high risk patient, it can be a moderate risk patient. So we have to consider whether it is a moderate risk patient or a high risk patient. If there is a history of substance abuse or any prescription drug uses or previous self-harm, it is of a moderate risk factors. Then we can have the psychosocial history. If he's suffering from the mental illnesses, major depressive disorders, borderline personality disorders, schizophrenia, and bipolar disorders, is again very important. Then there are some fixed factors to consider that basically revolves around the age, sex, race, and the ethnicity of the person, and the genetic predisposition will also be kept in mind. The environmental factors basically consist of the domestic abuse, high occupational and educational stresses, lack of support, financial factors, socioeconomic status, and the other forms of abuse can also be kept in mind when we are assessing the mild, moderate to the severe risk factors, including the sexual and the physical abuse over here. So basically, the general aim while we are treating a particular patient of deliberate self-harm is to alleviate the immediate risk of suicide. Then the subsequent risk of the deliberate self-harm should also be assessed, because it can prove to be fatal in a lot of conditions. So depending upon the severity of the disease, we're going to categorize him whether he's suffering from a mild, moderate, or a severe form of a disease. So in this section, we basically reviewed the different methods. How would we assess a patient of a deliberate self-harm? So that is the end of this section. Thank you for watching sqadia.com.